Fasting is a sacred practice that transcends the simple act of abstaining from food. In many religious traditions, it represents a powerful form of spiritual purification and an opportunity to draw closer to the divine. When fasting, a person renounces material pleasures to focus on their inner life, seeking connection with God, the universe, or something higher. If you're interested in learning more about fasting that brings us closer to Christ, stay with me until the end of this video, and you won't regret it. I also ask you to like this video and subscribe to the channel, as it supports us and shows that you appreciate our content. Imagine a powerful machine designed with divine precision. However, for this machine to continue functioning, it needs energy. Now reflect, why would someone choose to deprive themselves of food? In a world where eating is often associated with dieting, weight loss, or health, there are those who choose to fast for spiritual reasons. Fasting, mentioned in the Bible, is a spiritual practice aimed at achieving spiritual goals. Jesus told his disciples in Matthew chapter 6, verse 16, that fasting requires a deliberate renunciation of food, something that is both a pleasure and a necessity for the body. But by giving up food, we attract God's attention to ourselves. Jesus advised his disciples not to display their fasting, for those who do so to be seen have already received their reward. When fasting, we should anoint our head and wash our face so that fasting is not evident to others, but only to our Father, who sees in secret, and he will reward us. Matthew 6, verse 17. By renouncing food, we direct our attention and energy to silent prayer, seeking divine intervention in our lives. Fasting is a chance to devote ourselves to prayer and seek God's help in our journeys. If you have never fasted before, the idea of going without food for a period may seem intimidating. Some people have specific concerns, such as whether they will be able to endure it or how friends will react to knowing about the fast. The answer is simple. You do not fast to impress your friends, and most of the time you don't even need to tell them, as Jesus taught. In Matthew 6, verse 17, Jesus says, "When you fast, anoint your head and wash your face." He reminded us not to make an outward display of our religious devotion. Fasting is an intimate commitment between you and God. Sometimes we fast in secret, without revealing it to anyone. At other times we fast collectively, such as with the church or another person. Fasting is a biblical practice that can help anyone strengthen their spiritual life and become a fervent intercessor for God. Some think that Christians do not need discipline, but the reality is that we strengthen our faith through spiritual practices. We are soldiers of Christ, and a good soldier understands the importance of various disciplines. Fasting is just one of the many Christian practices. Just like climbing a mountain, fasting is challenging both spiritually and physically. Therefore, as you begin this journey, be aware of what you are doing. And remember that the path may be tough, but the results will be worth it. Start slowly, especially if it is your first time fasting. God will recognize your first step of faith, even if it seems insignificant to others. Additionally, the attitude of your heart during fasting is essential. Just as someone does not receive a positive response in a marriage proposal only by the length of the proposal, but by the sentiment behind it. As you begin fasting, do not worry about the duration. Make sure your relationship with God is in order. If this is your first fast, start by skipping just one meal. In the Old Testament, the Jews were required to fast for one day during Yom Kippur, once a year. This fast began at sunset and ended at sunset the following day, according to the Jewish calendar. Plan to start your fast at sunset or a little earlier. This means you will skip the evening meal and then forego breakfast and lunch the next day. At sunset, most Jews broke the fast with a regular meal. If you are fasting in search of a specific answer to prayer, Consider inviting someone to pray and fast with you. Regardless of religious tradition, fasting is an act of faith that reminds us of the importance of looking beyond the material world and seeking what is eternal and unchanging. It teaches us to resist temptations and focus on what truly matters in our spiritual journey. When we fast, we create space in our hearts for the divine to manifest, connecting with our deepest essence and the spiritual strength that guides us. Jesus said, "Again, truly I tell you that if two of you on earth agree about anything they ask for, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven." Matthew 18:19. These verses speak not only of prayer, but also of the commitment we make when fasting in agreement with another person for a specific purpose. Before starting the fast, deeply examine your heart to understand the reasons you are fasting. Make a list of your reasons and write them down so you can visualize them clearly. When we keep a purpose only in our minds, it can become confused or imprecise. You may have a general idea of why you should fast at this time, but take the time to record your reasons in writing. This will sharpen your focus when you see them written down. Do not treat your fast superficially or as an experiment. Plan for success. Make a solid commitment to fast for one day, regardless of the circumstances. Decide in advance what type of fast you will follow. Will it be an absolute fast without food and water? A normal fast, avoiding solid foods and consuming only liquids? Or a partial fast, eliminating certain liquids or solids but not all? Remember that fasting is an act of faith. God sees your heart and will reward you accordingly. Fasting is a spiritual journey that awakens our inner strength. It is an opportunity to draw closer to God, seeking His intervention and strengthening our connection with Him. When we fast, we remember that we are more than just physical bodies. We are souls thirsting for the presence of God. Therefore, embrace this practice with determination and faith, knowing that the Lord values the sincerity of your prayers and will reward your efforts. May fasting be a powerful tool to strengthen your spiritual life and transform you into a prayer warrior always closer to God. Show your support for this video by liking and sharing it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I hope this content inspires many hearts and motivates people to draw closer to God through fasting and prayer. Let's reach more people together and share the Word of God, so that everyone can experience the spiritual transformation that fasting can bring. May the divine light guide our steps and bless those who seek a deeper connection with the Heavenly Father. Happy fasting, and see you next time.